Hey, Liverpool One Church, I'm so glad, really am delighted that you've chosen to create a window of your time this week to gather in the format of a life group. Being involved in a life group is so fundamentally important, especially because it makes a big church feel small, and hopefully you guys are building relationships that make each other feel like friends that are really like family. So thanks for putting in the time, and again, always, thank you to all of our life group hosts and leaders. We love you and appreciate you. This Sunday in church, we spoke about money, and let's be honest, it's one of the most emotive subjects on the planet, let alone even in Christendom. We started speaking about this idea that the prophet Isaiah makes us aware about God. In Isaiah 55, he tells us that our thoughts are not his thoughts. Our ways are not the same as God's ways. And I think that oftentimes there are many practices in life that we can see this outworking. For example, Jesus teaches us to love our enemies. Nobody wants to do that, right? But as far as money is concerned, I believe that there's oftentimes a way that we think is best to handle our money, to respond to our income, to give. And then there's a way that I think that God's word, his scriptures, teach us to be about money. And I think that oftentimes that's what creates the conflict and the emotive nature of the subject of money when we're talking about it in church. So I would go so far as to say, hey, look, you don't even have to agree with everything. On Sunday, we were just speaking about, here are some biblical principles to help you guide your way through your financial life. We spoke about a bunch of stuff like avoiding debt. It's not good for you. And we spoke about what scriptures relate to that and the reasons why. We also spoke about being on a budget. We even gave you an Excel spreadsheet to build your family's budget from. And then we went on and we spoke about other significant things like making sure that you never wander away from God in the way that you handle your finances. It's so imperatively important. But the third point that we spoke about on Sunday was making sure that you are a hard worker, because Proverbs 10 tells us that lazy hands bring poverty, but diligent hands build and create wealth. And I think that there's three things that every follower of Jesus should be in the workplace, and that's honest, humble, and hardworking. And the reality of it is, my encouragement to every single one of you that not only calls Liverpool One Church home, but says about yourself, I'm a follower of Jesus. I would say, I hope that you outwork your faith even through the format of where you spend most of your days at work. Be the hardest worker in the office. Be the hardest worker on the hospital floor. Be the hardest worker whilst you're doing your business in the warehouse. But wherever you go, know that God is there with you. So use every opportunity, almost like an act of worship up to him, to say, God, this is what I want to do with my life. Work hard for you, because this is what I know. When you work hard, even in the secret places, during the times and seasons, the hours and the days, when maybe even the boss isn't around, maybe any of your other co-workers aren't around, and you're just diligently doing your absolute best, I promise you that promotion, that elevation, that increase in pay will chase after you and overtake you. Why? Because it's the blessing of being a hard worker. So maybe as you have some conversation and discussion this evening, maybe the first question that I could put to you all is simply this. What is there in your work life that maybe presents like a barrier at times for you working your best and hardest? Guys, have an amazing time together. Can't wait to see you on Sunday.